Today, we are Group 3 will present about economic growth and happiness. Malaysian experience after COVID-19. Next. Before we start our present, I would like to introduce our team. That was start from me, Marina Hazlin binti Mohd Haslam, Ahmad Syakir bin Amras, Ummul Zafirah binti Mohd Zulkafali, Fathiatulhusna binti Mohd Afandi, Irdina Nabilah binti Shudermawan, and lastly is Ahmad Fakhrul Rafi bin Muhammad Husaini. So, before we start our present more, I would like to talk about introduction first. Okay, if you guys want to know, Malaysia has announced its first COVID-19 cases on 25 January 2020. The Malaysia government imposed the movement control order that we know as MCO for the common good, which was difficult for Malaysians to make to do their social nature. The Ministry of Health, that was MOH, in Malaysia has implemented measures to contain the spread of COVID-19, such as mass testing, health screening, drive-through screening test, thermal scanner, telephone or internet consultation, telemedicine, e-notifikasi, and and many more. Many Malaysians have lost their job too, because it the COVID-19 give impact of their economy. Then COVID-19 pandemic has had profound impact on the global economy, and Malaysia is no exception. Next. So I will pass this presentation to my members to talk about objective.
So next is our objective is to focus on the relationship between economic growth and happiness. Next is sustainable development and environmental preservation are also important consideration in promoting happiness. And lastly is economic growth in Malaysia to create job, increase productivity, improve living standard, and this also include providing access to healthcare, education, social support, manufacturing, tourism, and infrastructure development. So I'll pass to my member next.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I want to explain my part, which is health and economic impact of COVID-19. As we know, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the world in unprecedented ways, causing significant health and economic consequences. Not only Malaysia, it's also impact in many other countries around the world, and Malaysia has the largest number of confirmed cases in Southeast Asia. In Malaysia, the pandemic has caused widespread disruption and challenges affecting individuals, business and the government. The pandemic has also resulted in significant economic losses, with the country's GDP shrinking by 5.6% in 2020. The health impact of COVID-19 in Malaysia has been significant, with over 1.5 million confirmed cases and over 13,000 deaths. The pandemic has also caused strain on the healthcare system, with shortages of medical supplies and personnel. A few health impact that happen or effect in Malaysia is COVID-19 case and mortality, strain on healthcare system, and the last one is mental health challenges. Did you know hospital and healthcare system? Sorry. Did you know hospital and healthcare facilities have faced many challenges in terms of capacity, availability of beds and medical resources? Also, hospital and clinic have had to divert uh, resources and personnel to deal with COVID-19 patients, leading to delays in non-COVID-19 related medical care. Move to the next impact is economic impact of COVID-19 in Malaysia. We can see that economy is the most impressed in Malaysia, and I will mention a few of the impacts such as GDP contraction, employment and job losses, and the other one is government stimulus packages. The economic slowdown has negative result affected on Malaysia. Many business, especially small and medium-sized enterprise, have faced financial challenges and had to reduce their workforce or shut down operation. Their business have been forced to shut down or reduce operation, causing financial difficulties for many people who have impressed on this pandemic. So the COVID-19 pandemic has caused significant health and economic consequences in Malaysia, highlighting the importance of preparedness and resilience. Moving forward, it is crucial to continue to address the ongoing challenges and opportunities presented by the pandemic. Thank you.
Okay. So, um, I will talk about Malaysia household during COVID-19. So, as we know, COVID-19 has give a big impact of family institution in Malaysia. So, um, it give um, a challenge to to family institution to meneruskan their life. Okay. So, um, the first challenge faced and threatening family institution in Malaysia is the result of parents losing their source of income. Um, Losing this source of income is very challenging because it is financial source to support their children and become a source of family expenses in the face of COVID-19 pandemic. Um, what is certain, this is not only in happening in Malaysia, but it is a global challenge. This factor are experienced by all industry globally due to the out of control COVID-19 pandemic. Um, the challenge of this pandemic has also affected mental health because it is a new thing that has never happened before. Many sectors have been forced to close, and many have lost their jobs and had to comply with social gathering restriction. Um, and then the last challenge is teaching and learning at home, as we know as PDPR. It's quite difficult for parents to monitor the entire journey of this PDPR. The fact is, although this initiative was found sustainable to meet the needs, it's difficult situation because at home, um, sud- suddenly people doesn't have a strong internet line, so it's very give a big challenge for someone to do their work at home. So the finding of challenge and impacts are expected to have to some extent to generate recommendation and step and strategies that need to be taken to re-strengthen family institution in Malaysia post-pandemic. So that's all for me.
So, Assalamualaikum and everyone. So today I will present the Hope Economy Malaysia emerged in COVID-19. So, the implementation of the movement control MCO in Malaysia is to break the COVID-19 pandemic network. The Ministry of Health Malaysia MOH has taken survival in the addressing the mental and emotion health problem of employer and the community by providing mental health and psychology support service MHPSS. So in the article Abdul Rashid, Nur Hafiz and Nur Hamizah 2020, it is important that we are aware of the psychology or mental health impact of the COVID-19 pandemic with the increase in the number of patients infected with this outbreak every day. It is also affect society and individual psychology. Choosing distribution in daily life among the psychology impact individual include the stress, depression, and rambling. This is feeling is more survival. This life individual who have a experimental health problem. So this I take the article of Abdul Rashid, Nur Hafiza, and Nur Hamiza. So the first point is the first employees having to be late and many company first close. So according in article Nawad Ratun and Siti Martia, among these implication of COVID-19 from emotional point of view are due to economic sector that are not allowed to be open. This led many employer. This is a many employee having the be laid of many companies forced the close. Thus, family out of income is affected when the employer is laid off. This is result is an emotional impact on employer when they would think about financial resources for this family. The loss of a job associated with the breakdown in family ties. Case of domestic violence have also increased through to the MCO. Call of the Kasih line for the 57% since MCO. It seems this such anxiety so drive variety behavior the should not recall. Some head is also affected and begin to explain system to the rumbling stresses, anxiety, and difficulty sleeping. So, the second point, should I do the school and education institution we order to close the online teaching and learning. The COVID-19 pandemic has not only impact the economy. So, based on my experience in the economy in the COVID-19, not impact the uh, economy but also impact the education sector at the primary, secondary and higher education institution. Although also the school and education institution we order to close. The online teaching and learning process was implemented from home. So studies conduct to the look readiness and challenge experienced by student when faced with the new norm academic stress, the alarming disease situation, and the student from the demand that do need a trigger to stress impact the especially the higher education institution. So many students are moody and less willing to face such as online. So because this is now focus to the class online. So class face to face is very important and we should to focus. So among the point number 4, the government has provide among the largest KWSP from account to at helping people. So this is government to help people to recovery to pandemic in COVID-19. Among the contribution of the Hope Malaysian is to obtain permanent source of income. However, it has been hampered by the COVID-19 pandemic. So the government has provide a location among these largest EPF from account two. So the KBSP we have two choice, account one and account two. So government should be aim to the helping helping the people to settle the debt and surviving during the pandemic era of COVID-19. The government decision to announce to withdrawal facility of the employer providing fund. This is a EPF. So employer provided fund EPF account to contribution effective in 1 April 2020 in the era economy pandemic COVID-19 is a very effective to step to burden is nearly 12 million contribution in the face of the pandemic. So the point, the hope economy, this is article Shan also urged to the government to invest in technology and improve people skill sets to grow. So, as the people will look the country economy is stable are the greatest hope for the grandchildren to maintain a stability and economy recovery. According to the new from Astro Awani, they hope the economy stable can be maintained macroeconomy in order to continue to proposal. So the Syed Saiz economy joined in Malaysia in his speeches. This is government should maintain society to drive trade beyond RM to 2000 billion as until trillion. Yes, in his opinion, the role of MITI has become important in his opinion, but government organization are doing a good job. He said in addition, Shan also the government to invest technology. So invest technology and improve people skill set to grow economy. So the technology is important to grow economy and uh, in the economy. Socially and financially to the improvement of the people. In terms of that, it can increase the number of people who make online sale, business online, for example. So that's the economy in the family can be carried out to temporary. So point of number 6 that I can set the hope is government should ensure that the risk of COVID-19 infection remains low so that the economy will remain is open. So, the poor health condition result in the economy not being able to run properly. In addition, he suggested to the government to continue to issue the budget 2020 implemented as soon as possible for the purpose of boosting economic activity. Meanwhile, according to the senior fellow, the Singapore Institution International, uh, to regulate business compliant with the international recognized best business practice. This will enable business to thrive and to create a job with previous heavily affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So, number 7 also help to the government who reduce bicycle reduction in the country. So, he said he hoped the government does not is the government does not ability to improve quota and restriction that's only served to the data for gain domestic investment. In addition, he also hoped the government would reduce the bureaucratic and redundancy in the country. So in the article, Dr. Oh said as Ronald famously did during his encouraging to speech. The government did not solve the problem. Government is the problem. For example, there are so many social interest to out there trying to improve the local community in term of socio economy. By there, often caught between biology pitfall. There's a not of NGO, no no more profit making concern and can enjoy the era pandemic in COVID-19. So this is important. So this is hope people to the government Malaysia to increase the economy because economy Malaysia has dropped since COVID-19 in the Malaysia. So that's all from me. So thank you.
So next is Malaysia economy emerged from the shadow of COVID-19. Um, the impact of the pandemic on Malaysia economy is the COVID-19 pandemic had a profound impact on Malaysia economy, and strictly a lockdown measure that travel restriction result in disruption across various sectors. And the country experienced a contraction in economic growth, affecting business and livelihood. So how Malaysia economy emerged from the shadow of COVID-19. First is government response and support. So in response to the crisis, the Malaysian government swiftly implemented economic is a stimulus package. This package aimed to provide support and relief to business and individuals to and key sector affected by the pandemic. And this package also to measure include financial assistance, subsidies, tax incentive, and loan moratorium. And for example, for this government response and support, Prihatin Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package is Prihatin. And the next is the National Economic Recovery Package is Penjana. And Package of People Protection and Economy Recovery is Pemulih. So next is encouraging digital transformation and uh, recognizing the importance of adapting to a new normal. The Malaysia government is prioritize digital transformation, and uh, government also effort were made to promote digitalization and e-commerce adoption across industry. This facility online this was yep. This facility online transaction enable and remote work arrangement and help business sustain operation during the lockdown. For example, government launched the SME digital digital grant which provide financial assistance to SME to help them to adopt digital technology and improve their competitive. Next is vaccination and easing of restriction. So the government focused on accelerating the vaccination campaign to achieve herd immunity. As vaccination rate increase and um, were gradually is allowing sector of the economy to reopen. And the next is challenge and balance. So challenge and balance is striking a balance between controlling the spread of the virus COVID-19 and reviving economic growth has been a delicate task. And then this challenge also to continue vigilance, adherence to health protocol and effective management to potential future wave remain essential. So that's all.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So now we go to our research. So first is my research is Malaysia happiness. My Malaysia happiness level after pandemic. Okay, so first is sorry. First is mental health challenges. The pandemic created a multitude of mental health challenges that contributed to the decline in happiness level. To uncertainty surrounding the virus, the fear of infection, and the consistent news updates on the global health crisis heightened stress and anxiety among individuals. Many people experience feelings of helplessness and loss of control over their lives, leading to a decrease in happiness. For example, a study conducted by research at the University of Malaya found that levels of anxiety and depression increased significantly during the pandemic compared to pre-pandemic level. The rise in a mental health issue was closely associated with decreased happiness and life satisfaction and among Malaysians. Okay. Second is social isolation and limited uh, uh, social isolation and limited social interaction. Lockdowns and social distancing measure means that people had to stay at home and limit their interaction with others. The lack of social connection and support system disrupted the sense of belonging and lead to feelings of loneliness and isolation, negatively impact happiness levels. Next, social support plays a crucial role in maintaining mental well-being and happiness. The restoration on social activities such as family gatherings, celebrations, and community events deprive individuals of the social connection and bring joy and fulfillment. This isolation and limited social interactions leads to a decline in happiness level. Third is a description of daily routines and activities. The pandemic forced individuals to adapt to the new ways of living and working. The sudden shift to remote work, closure of schools, and cancellation of social events disrupted daily routines and activities that bring joy and fulfillment. The distribution further contribute to decline in happiness level. For many individuals, routine provides structure and sense of normality in their life. Distribution of these routines and the loss of familiar activities such as going to the gym, attending religious service, or engage in hobbies had a negative impact of their overall happiness. The lack of opportunities for leisure and recreations added to the overall sense of dissatisfaction and decreased well-being. Next is a financial stress and job insecurity. The economic impact of the pandemic include jobless and salary reductions, cause financial stress among individuals and families. The certainty about the future and the need to navigate financial challenges created anxiety, decreased happiness levels. Many people many people face job losses or reduced working hours, which affected their financial stability and increased worries about meeting basic needs and obligations. The fear of job insecurity and the economic downturn had a profound impact on individuals' mental well-being and happiness. Uh, Next is a limited access to healthcare and support service. The overwhelmed healthcare system during the peak of the pandemic made it challenging for individuals to access necessary healthcare service. For the limited access to support for mental health issues and exacerbated feelings of distress, further contributing to decline happiness level. Individuals facing mental health challenges often rely on professional support and therapy. However, during the pandemic, access to in-person counseling or therapy session become limited. The lack of access to this crucial support service, combined with the stress anxiety caused by the pandemic, lead to a decline in happiness levels. And last but not least is a coping with grief and loss. The pandemic resulted in significant loss, include the loss of loved ones, loss of the livelihoods, and disruption of future plans. Grief and loss are known to impact mental well-being and happiness. Dealing with these emotional challenges during the pandemic was an additional burden on individual happiness level. Many individuals experience the loss of their family members, friends, or colleagues due to the virus. The grief and emotional pain associated with this loss to it all. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Syakir bin Amras, 2022 F55 and Singapore. So now I will introduce to all of you guys about my research about emerging economic growth trends in Malaysia treat by researching pandemic. The COVID-19, as we expected in mid-April 2021, the percent of growing economic by World Bank is decreased by 4.5%, and it's causing worry about the overall capacity of Malaysia's health system and consequence of the ongoing cycle of opening and closing the economic on household and business. This most recent expectation, which was a lower than earlier prediction of 6% increase because of the pandemic, longer road to containment, and the vaccine programs later than anticipated rollout. Research states that Malaysia's top priority way should be effective and long-term management of the ongoing pandemic and its effect on people, household, and businesses. Self-restoration of economic activity and the avoidance of a more extended economic crisis depend on safeguarding individuals' life and health in order to avoid additional stresses on the nation's health system. Because the pandemic is very effective to the happiness, to the many people happiness. uh, when the people is uh, become stressed and not happy, it will affect the trend of economic in Malaysia. We do to the the work they do, and every day what they do like that. So the second is managing the current pandemic and its consequence on people, homes, and companies should be Malaysia's top priority right soon. So this is what I said before. According to the research, this protecting people's life and health is essential to ensuring a safe return to economic activity and preventing a longer lasting economic crisis, which will put further strain on the country's health system. Okay. So next, classification is uh, the first is increasing the capacity for smart containment, because uh, including the adoption of an effective testing and tracing strategy is essential to ensure a safe and gradual reopening of the economy. In parallel, the vaccination rollout must be accelerated to help slow down the spread of the pandemic. So the number two is the government must also protect the welfare of vulnerable groups through educate financial support. So the government must support the groups or individual that is uh, household. We must make so the government must make better, helpful, and must include uh, must protect the government and support to protect those in bottom 40 It's mean B40 income group and those most affected by the movement restriction. This include informal workers who are not adequately covered by social safety nets, those who have lost their jobs, been placed on unpaid leave. So the strategy of number three, the government fiscal policy should prioritize ensuring the well-being of the people. It urgently needs additional fiscal space, both to strengthen the health sector and to provide sustainable support to vulnerable groups. The post-pandemic recovery will need to be largely driven by the private sector. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, for the conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic has seriously impacted the Malaysian health and economy. The finance minister plays an essential role in this crucial period in order to help Malaysia with the increases. We believe that all policies or helpers will be able to help most of the Malaysian, especially the business. And every individual has own responsibilities to help Malaysia winning the war. And our presentation, I would like to quote a speech by Ahmad in regards to unity. The world needs huge positive and energy to fight against the negative forces. That's all from us. Thank you.